Hello everybody, and welcome back to Minecrafting Things. Gonna start yet another series, so I'm gonna have two series running on this channel now, as well as my Skyblock challenge that's probably not even halfway through yet. This one I think is actually a pretty good idea, and hopefully it'll get a lot of good feedback. This is gonna be a tutorial series, so basically in each episode I'm going to make something that's kind of cool, maybe like a mob trap or, in this case, a self-mining farm. So hopefully you enjoy this. Damn pigs. Okay, yeah, so here's my house. And if I were to go inside my house, I just sort of built this crappy little house for the point of the video. So this is your base in your regular Minecraft world. You can come down here, hit this switch, and as you'll see, a lot of water will start heading from that direction. There it is. Now we play the waiting game. Okay, there you go. As you can see, that got quite a hefty amount. We can turn that off now. And that'll stop the water flow, I think you'll see. There we go. Stops the water flow. Okay, so let's have a bit of an aerial look at this and how this works from above. Okay, and we're back. As you can see, this is my automatic farm. You can make a lot of variations to this and make it, different to how you please. But in this case, we're just going to see how this works from the outside. So I've moved the switch. So this is what it's going to look like from this point of view, from an aerial point of view. There you go, it took a while to load, but there we go. And that sends all the planted crops that you will have there down through here. I've made a few of these already on my my single player and my multiplayer servers. But yeah, over the back here, this is where we have the floodgate made of a piston. And as you can see, when that is destroyed, the piston comes back and releases the water. So that's basically how it works. So now we're going to show you how to make this in this tutorial. Okay, welcome back. We've jumped into creative mode. There's a couple of facts that I think you should know just before we get started about water. Fact 1. Water will only travel 7 spaces past its source block. As you can see, it will not fall down there. However, items that you throw into it will fall down and travel away from the original source block as long as it goes downhill. Next fact, when water falls down, it will then travel from that fallen place 7 spaces. As you can see, it goes to exactly the same spot as it did before. To show you an advanced version of this, as you can see, when it falls down and it gets to the same spot that it always has, if we take away this block, it will then travel another 7 places. As you can see, it will not go past the 7th block again. Okay, fact number 3. Water will travel to the lowest terrain possible within a 5-block radius. As you can see, when we place water down here, it will travel out in all directions. However, if we have a hole and it is, say, for instance 4 blocks away, it will only travel towards that direction. As you can see here, now we have 2 holes and the water will travel to both. However, if we have one that is only 3 blocks away, it is now the closest downhill terrain. So when we place the block of water here, it will not travel out, but it will travel just to there. If, on the other hand, it was like this, and they were all equal distance apart from the starting source block, it will travel to all 3. Okay, and welcome back. Now that you know those couple of facts about water, which is going to be essential for making our automatic farm, this is what you're going to want to find. A hill made of dirt, preferably a couple of levels high, and it's going to want to be quite flat. This is pretty much ideal for making our automatic farm. This is one I've made here in creative mode. What you're going to want to do after you found your hill is build a back wall out of stone. It's probably easier out of cobblestone if you're doing this in survival mode. Once you've built your back wall, you're going to pick your center block and place another block like as I've done with this stone above. This is going to be your center. Okay, how long do you want this back wall to be? As long as you want it. Remember, the longer that this back wall is, the longer that your farm is going to be, and the more crops you're going to be able to mine. So once you've chosen your center, what you're going to want to do is, from the center, dig a trench outwards over the edge of your first hill, like I've done here. Now, what's important to remember, even though we already know that water will travel 7 spaces from its source block, it will not hydrate blocks 7 spaces from where the water hits. It will only hydrate 4 places. So as you can see, this will only hydrate 1, 2, 3, 4. It will only hydrate to here and only hydrate these dirt blocks here. So what we're going to do is dig out another trench. I would suggest going 7 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to build another trench here. Okay, so now that we have another trench, I've already built these ones earlier. We're going to place, again, more water. Now this will hydrate all of this area. So now this is all hydrated. You do not need to place new blocks of water for each of your hydration sources. I'm going to show you in later parts how to match all those up. However, it is probably easier if you just make new source blocks. Okay, so after we've done that, what we're going to want to do is pretty this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this, and I will see you back in a little bit. And just so we know, I'm going to be using stone slabs. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. As you can see, I've now prettied this up with our stone slabs. What we're going to want to do next is choose our water source. Now, if I go to one side and simply choose one water source, I'll show it with a cobblestone block. As you can see, it travels out, and the minimum distance that our water reaches is here, which gives us 3 blocks that it does not cover. So quite clearly, one source block is not ideal. What I would recommend is 2 source blocks, and frankly I think it looks a little nicer anyway. What you're going to want to make sure is, if you have 2 source blocks, which is what you're going to want to have, make sure that in between each of these source blocks there is an odd number of blocks. That way you can make sure that everything lines up better later. So as long as if you want 2 water block sources, which is what you're going to want, make sure that there is an odd number between them. So now that we have 2 water sources, I'm going to go ahead and place them down. Going to go ahead and place them down. See, doesn't that look nice? As you can see, our minimum distance only leaves 2 blocks. So it is a little tiny bit further, but that's what we want. Okay, our next step is going to be making our back wall higher. So what we're going to want to do is, 1 block higher, we're going to create our back wall just like this. Oop. Only 1 block. And we're going to go all the way out to the edge here. Okay. Also, what we want to make sure for our back wall is that our source blocks do not have a block behind them. So then go ahead and knock these out. If you're not in creative mode, it's probably easy to just leave these out if you know what you're doing. But yeah, just make sure that you knock out those. What we're going to want to do next is create a way that we can build these back blocks so that we can get all 4 of these water sources hydrated with only 1 source block. Okay, so what we're going to do in order to do that, we're going to fly. It's probably easier. This is why you might have want to have left some dirt back here. If you're just doing this in creative mode, obviously it doesn't matter because you can just fly. But it is probably ideal that you have it that way. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make a whole row back here. Just like that. Okay, now what we're going to want to do is wall this off like that. Wait, we don't need that. Then we come in like this. Just like that. Okay, so as you can see, now there is a C shape that goes around, and it then joins to our 2 water source blocks. Because we've used an odd number, it is now an even distance from this middle block here to here and to here. This is why we use an odd number. Okay, so Once we place our water source there, as you can see, the one water source then hydrates both water sources of our cobblestone blocks and then travels down as it does normally. This is exactly what we want. So, after that, we're going to now repeat this side. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this.